The person I am today is not who I was 4 years ago. In the 7th grade, I was involved in things that no normal teen would be involved in, and had seen things that even older people hadn't seen. I had seen anything from dead bodies to murders, and had over a handful of family members and friends that had died because of the life that they were living and the things that they were thriving for. If I hadn't changed my ways, I probably wouldn't be here today. The things one does in the past does not always determine the outcome of one's future, but it will come with consequences. My future is something I wasn't willing to change. I had always had the dream of being a professional athlete, and to see all of that just slowly slip away was devastating. I knew if I hadn't changed my life, I'd be lost in the mix. During this period of time, I had made so many enemies that I had searched over and over again for a way, an answer, and decide on how to change my life. At the age of 14, I had been hanging out with a group of kids that I thought had respect and power. One of these kids, whose name was Johnny, really caught my attention on how he carried himself and how he seemed to be fearless. Two things I was definitely looking for in my life. At the age of 15, I had been arrested for the first time and expelled from school. I was charged with 3 felony charges. One was battery on school grounds, the other was street gang terrorism, and the third was resisting arrest. Throughout the next 2 years, I had only been arrested 3 more times, but for a total of 9 months. The charges consisted of battery with a deadly weapon to possession of a controlled substance. My life had started to drastically change. I had been going against things I was taught. My morals were no longer being applied to what I was doing. My life had changed drastically to fighting at the sight of any enemy that I had, no matter how big or how old he was, it was never an issue. Having been in 15 plus fights and not losing one made me feel invincible. I thought I had it all. I had respect, power, and I felt unstoppable. Most importantly, I had made a name for myself, and throughout all the good and bad times, I had one friend to count on being there for me. As time went by, it seemed as if I'd never get back to the life I had before when sports went from being a priority to being something that no longer had my attention. Things seemed to be going downhill. As soon as I thought everything was at its worst, my best friend, my brother, had died in the gang-related shooting. The only person that I had trusted with my entire heart and trusted with my life had left me. To be the last person he talked to before he passed away approximately an hour before it happened sucks, not knowing that the conversation we had on the phone that night would be the last one. At that point, everything had flashed before my eyes. To think that he would no longer be by my side was a feeling so unbearable that I didn't know what to do with my life. I recall specifically talking to him about changing my life and starting all over, but the one thing that had always stopped me was knowing that I would throw everything away again, and I would have to start all over with no one by my side and everyone against me. At this point, I was weak and desperate for help. With no one by my side and only memories and wisdom that he left me, I showed everyone that what they called impossible was possible. With the enormous amount of courage that I had, I turned my life around. Knowing that I would be on my own and having everyone hate me was terrifying. I felt like I was so far into this life that I couldn't believe I was going to go against everything that I had learned and believed in. It was me against the world. I was always up for a challenge, and I knew that this challenge was the biggest yet. I now not only have twice as many enemies, but I lived the life I had always wanted to live, and I am on track and looking forward to get a great future. Courage is being scared to death but saddling up anyways. It's the feeling you have when your back is against the wall and it's you against the world. This is courage. This I believe.